Shilpan, I want to start with you with talking about this transition to an all-electric future that GM is working on. Yes. What does that transition pathway actually look like on a global scale?
Yeah, it's one of the most exciting times in the industry as we've invested $35 billion into our AV and EV platform, starting with our Ultium body, where we can now scale up a full portfolio of electric vehicles for global applications. And so our issue right now is we can't get it out there fast enough, and we're making announcements on new product lines that are being developed off this architecture. With that, too, we're creating the entire customer experience, whether it's the infrastructure support that's needed so you get charging appropriately, seamlessly, as you bring all this portfolio to market. But it is on our journey to an all-electric vehicle future and an affordable electric vehicle future for everyone. And you're starting to see examples of a more broad range, more available product lines when we've announced our Equinox EVs, and there's much more to come.
And when you say inclusive, does that mean affordable, or what does inclusive mean?
So inclusive is both the affordability and the customer experience, and I'm really proud here at COP27. We have a fleet of 150 electric vehicles that are moving the teams around, and it's our most affordable electric vehicles, our Chevrolet Spark and our Chevrolet Bolt, as well as our Cadillac Lyriq, which we're really proud of in the design and the technology that comes along with that product to demonstrate the broad range of capabilities in our portfolio that we're developing.
And Omar, your role is in policy. So I imagine being at COP is kind of catnip for you. It's an exciting time to be here. So how are you thinking about the role of policy as it translates to the electric future that Shilpan was talking about?
Right. No, Lauren, thank you for the question, and thank you for having us here. Policy, and I think in the walk up here, you had a great montage of our technology, our vehicles that Shilpan was just speaking of, and many more applications there. And we have the technology. What we also need, though, is government support. The smart policies that enable bringing these technologies and this product transformation to market. And what I mean by that is autos is heavily regulated. And so to bring things like autonomous vehicles to reality, the technology exists today. It's happening. We're doing it now. But to bring it up to scale for all of those who are listening in today requires regulatory changes, requires legal changes, legislative changes. And so we need an enabling environment in the policy space to be able to bring all of this technology to the fore.
And how do you deal with the challenge of the global regulatory environment? You're not just working with the US, you're not just working with the UK, you're not just working with Egypt, you're trying to balance all of those things, all of these countries, all of these globalities. How do you think about that?
Right, well, it's like the old saying, right, all politics is local. And so we look at our markets, where do we want to deploy, where the opportunities are. There are many jurisdictions around the world that are so enabling for technological development, or who want to attract FDI, foreign direct investment, from a company like General Motors, or partner with General Motors and our other commercial partners in order to bring this technology out to the road.
Perfect. You said partnership, so you perfectly set me up to bring in Mohamed here. You've been a partner of General Motors for decades now, right?
Correct.
Tell us,
years.
50, oh yes, amazing. How does that partnership work? And how are you guys thinking at this moment of COP about the importance of partnership?
Well, GM was the pillar of the Mansour Group. I mean, we started with GM in 1975. And through the development of technology and whatever the group grew up to be, 60,000 people in 100 countries. And I always see GM as the pillar. So we've worked together over the years and developed the markets here in Egypt and some other countries in Africa and the Middle East.
And what takeaways would you say from those 50 years for partnerships? What are some lessons you've learned that others could take?
Well, everything, it's partnerships. And really, General Motors, I had just finished university when I came back from the US, North Carolina State and Auburn University, and then came to Egypt, and GM came in 1975. We became the agent, and through that, we've developed other American multinationals, and we've grew up, like I said, to be a $7 billion company.
Fantastic. And Shilpan, could you share with us how you all are working together here at COP?
Yeah, it's clear, even with the purpose of COP, is we want to address bigger societal issues. Partnerships is what gets us there, whether it's the relationships with governments, whether it's our supply base, whether it's partnerships. it will take all of us to make this transformation real and accelerate the transformation. Obviously, time is not of our friend. But what Mr. Mansour just demonstrated is we make commitments for the long term, and we figure out how to make each other successful. And it may not just be growth with each other, but we enable each other to be successful in other parts of the business. And as we scale this relationship up with all these partnerships, that's what enables us to deliver on a better future.
Omar, what are you thinking, big takeaways from you from COP this year? What are a goal of what you'd like to see addressed?
You know, for me, it has been the opportunity to engage with not just government and policymakers, stakeholders in the broader environment, and listening and learning a great deal about the need to show, for corporations like General Motors, we have made our commitments, and what are we doing, or what have we done to fulfill those commitments? And it's a great story to tell on the General Motors side, and from what I'm hearing, a great story to tell for many other companies.
Fantastic. And Mohamed, as this large group of people are here in Egypt, what are you hoping they're going to take away from their experiences here?
Well, COP27 has been great. I'm very proud to be an Egyptian. I'm very proud to the development that's happened. We believe in climate change as a family, as a business. So we have invested here in Egypt through my nephew, who started his own solar and wind companies in Egypt. It's huge. It's all over Africa. We've invested in the North Sea, in turbines, the North Sea. And we've also, through electrical vehicles that we're working with General Motors, bringing them to Egypt, and also building a new sustainable city in Egypt that will house 250,000 people. That's the first in the Middle East. We're very proud to do this, and it's very proud to see that our country is developing in that sector, because it is a challenge for humanity, and we all have to face it in the private sector.
Fantastic. And Shilpan, as you think about this level of partnership and how important it's been so far, kind of what are you looking forward in the future for future partners? What could the people in this audience and elsewhere help with the EV transition? Yeah,
lean in and make the commitments. You know, we're all into an all-electric future, demonstrated by her $35 billion of investment with a full portfolio. And what we need is everyone to start investing into the future and not wait for the future to be here before you start. As I mentioned, time is not of our friend. And so a lot of the discussions we've had the opportunity to have here is to demonstrate where everyone can contribute. You can all be part of the solution. There's much to be done. We're making our commitments moving forward. In fact, we just announced here our commitment to the First Movers Coalition as part of scaling up the suppliers and the makers to really make the commitments to capital investments and make the change needed to get to carbon neutrality.
Fantastic. I want to ask you one last question. I think we've got about 30 seconds left. Any big myths that you're hearing while you're here about that you want to debunk about the transition to EVs, or any big questions that you hear keep coming up that you would love to share?
The technology is there. The capital is there. The regulatory environment is there. And the infrastructure for charging EVs is growing. GM has invested $750 million itself, and we are working with the public sector as well to expand the charging infrastructure across many territories, many countries. And there's more to do, and that's the big opening, opportunity.
Much more to do. Good tagline for COP overall.
Right.
Omar, thank you. Mohamed and Shilpan, thank you all so much. Thank you to General Motors.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.